I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Welcome to Big Sister. As you can see, my ceiling fan is going. Any hoots, guys. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I hope you guys will continue to support this channel. Like, share, guys, subscribe. And yeah, so guys, let me talk to you. I'm seeing so many people they are blowing up in public, having anger issues, meltdowns. I saw this thing on TikTok with this one guy. He has become this meme where he just ran out his truck and he just punching the window, and now they're adding beats to his nonsense. And guys, I'm like, what is the deal? You have people, now they're called Karens. Sorry for those of you, your name is Karen. And now it's just your name has just become this, you know what it is. And Karens are throwing drinks, doing all these things. People are punching, pushing. What in the world is going on? What is happening? Guys, it's so important to control your anger, because once it gets to that point, it means it's been going on for a long time. That stuff has been going on unchecked for a long time. And anger is always going to lead you to destruction, guys. Anger is always going to finally lead you to that person that's not going to have it. Okay? You may be a person that you've been doing things for a long time, or these individuals, they've been doing things for a long time, but anger escalates, right? It makes you feel like you're getting away with things for a very, very long time, but it's always to bring you to this one individual who is more crazy than you are and is going to do something really drastic. And I'm just seeing that a lot with individuals. I'm retired now, and I've said, even if I decide that I wanted to go and do a little side job or anything, guys, I'm more than qualified to be a supervisor of clinics and managers of organizations, but I don't want to do that. I look at it like, look, I've done my job, I'm retired, I have done my thing. It is not even about money. If I want to go and do a job, it's to keep myself maybe a little more busy. But I am not choosing jobs where I am in charge of people, where I am their supervisor, okay? Where I am the one that can hire or fire. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. And I think the most I may probably do, there's this a position like being like a patient advocate representative, just someone that helps people in terms of making sure they're getting the right treatment. I'm an advocate for people. I love to help people. But guys, honestly, I'm not looking for that. I know being in charge and running some big running operations and stuff is more money, and that's all good, but people are crazy. And I am not trying to deal with crazy people. We're in times now where people are not trying to even be accountable, responsible. They don't take responsibility for their actions. They're just mad. They're just angry. They'll come to work late and they're upset with you for addressing them. They will do things, not complete their work, and they're mad at you for noticing. You're supposed to just allow them to do what they want to do. You're supposed to just let them show up late and leave early, not do right and not say anything, and you could literally be in danger. I remember watching this criminal documentary about this lady. The guy was really giving her a hard time. She was the boss, and she had been trying to work with this guy. He was just slacking. Everything you can imagine about it, just the worst employee he was. And she was being patient and everything, and finally she had to fire the guy, right? And the guy just goes into work one day and just takes her out. She kills her, okay, at work. I guess he knew her schedule, went in when no one else was there. Went in, he had one color shirt on, then he left with a different kind of shirt on, okay? And guys, that's just the world we're living in. And I'm not saying that you should not have ambition or strive to be higher or in managerial position, but it is literally something where it has become dangerous, right? it is there with risk. People cannot be responsible. Like, you have a job, just show up, do your job, do what you're supposed to do, be where you're supposed to be. And guys, this starts to me at a young age, even when you're in school. Whether you're doing what your parents are telling you to do, whether you're doing what the teachers are telling you to do, whether you're showing up where you need to show up, it just keeps going. And the anger and the entitlement. And now we're just living in times where there's an excuse for everything. You could, if someone just went out there and just took the lives of 50 people, there's this narrative of, oh, they had a bad childhood. Oh, they didn't have a father. Oh, they have mental health. And I feel like people who have mental health, who are doing well in society, who may have struggles, but are still doing, working through it, and they are doing well, you should be offended, because what they're doing now is planting mental health on you guys. Okay, so we're supposed to now believe that if someone says they have mental health, they could be a mass shooter, they could be killers, they could be abusers, they could be volatile. Oh, they have mental health issues. I don't think so. There are people who have mental health issues who are being responsible, getting treated, doing what they need to do, recognizing if the dosages are too high or it's not working for them, and they are contributing to society. They're not problematic. They're not having issues. And man, I wish I could see more people coming out who have been diagnosed with mental health issues and so on and so forth, that can come out and debunk this argument, right? So when you're living in times where people have an excuse for a mass shooting or for different things like that, their mental health is going to come in when a whole adult just goes out there and abuses a child and beats up a child, or give birth to a child and throw him in the trash. Oh, let's think about their mental health. It's like, seriously, this is ridiculous, right? So now we're finding that. So when people have their anger and their issues and their problems, they get excuses all the time. They're coddled all the way till they get older, and they think that they can just do whatever they want to do in society, right? And so a fender bender can lead to something. Someone feels that you're not driving fast enough can be fatal. Someone, you change lanes and didn't feel like you changed lanes enough, that can be fatal. Walking into someone coming in and not getting the product or not getting the answers they think they should have, or having to wait, that can be bad. What is really going on? A part of me believes that some of it can be not only in how a person is raised, the lack of discipline, but a part of me also believes that, especially I would say in Western cultures, our judicial system is a little bit too tolerant. There are just too many things a person can do. Like, someone could literally carry out a violent crime and they can bond out. They pay bond and they get to walk. They get to go home. They get to leave. And so if there's all this, someone has massacred a group of people and they can argue why they shouldn't get the death penalty. As a matter of fact, currently in the U.S. courts judicial system, a criminal offender can represent themselves and get to cross-examine their victims. I don't understand why this happens. I don't think they think about the possible trauma this can have on victims, and I think that it should stop. They're not lawyers and they haven't been to law school. If we can walk in and represent ourselves, this is going to be a smack to the lawyers to say anyone can come in and do your job, and they should not be allowed to do it. So we live in an entitled society where people continue to behave a certain way and they're going to get away with it. And guys, one of the things that I want to say too with anger, you need to be very careful, or individuals who behave this way, they need to be careful where they go with it. There are people now who are going out to restaurants and behaving a certain way. They used to misbehaving in public, and they go to amusement parks and act up, and they go to baseball games and act up, and they go get on school grounds and certain things and act up, guys. But you need to realize that some places that you go to, let's say if you go into an airport, for example, and you carry on that stuff, you are not going to be charged by your state. You're going to have federal charges. You go into the airport and let's say these individuals go into the airport and they are abusive or violent to the airport employees or threatening in any way. Let's say they get on the airplane. We see lots of those. I don't know if you guys have seen them. You get on the plane. Once that airplane door closes, once the hatch is shut, and you or these individuals act up, they're going to be considered, and they do something on the plane, violent, volatile, those are going to be federal charges, guys. And federal charges, no one's going to care that you didn't know your dad growing up. Another thing I forgot to add, guys, is if a person is volatile on a flight, wherever they land is where they're going to have legal jurisdiction over them. So if it's China, if it's Thailand, if it's Cali, that's what it's going to be. It is very different. Okay, so be very careful. Be careful if you go in a post office. Those are considered federal grounds. Yeah, that guy or that person behind the counter may not be acting right, but don't argue with them. All you need to do is take the number of that post office, where it's at, whatever, and do, carry out due diligence in stating a complaint. You cannot just threaten and do that. You can't go into the post office and behave that way, threatening them, even if they may be in the wrong, or even if you're in the right. Charges are different, guys, depending on where you're at. You cannot go on military grounds and misbehave and carry on and threaten people in there. You're not going to be, it's not going to be a local police anymore. It's federal charges. So understand that anger can lead you down this path that you're going to be sorry. You're going to be very sorry. You're going to be like, right? That's not going to work. So just think on that, guys. Just really, really think on that, and really just think of who you're keeping company with. Some people, you just have to pull yourself away from them, because sometimes you're not even the one that's volatile. You may have that volatile friend, that friend that's always popping off, always doing certain things. And sometimes you can find yourself being in the crosshairs of something very dangerous because you're hanging with this person or being falsely accused of stuff. There are people who have gone to prison because they were with someone who's a hothead and they did something and they were there. Especially in the state of Texas. That is, you're not going to get away with things, and you can easily get the death penalty in Texas. Okay, so guys, just something to think about and something to work on and something to kind of to do your best in trying to really preserve or teach your children from this age what they should and should not do. You know, it's kind of, when they're little, everyone's like, oh, they're so cute. But then they start to grow older and keep doing these things, you know? And then they go out in society and do more. And then we have a world where there are people having meltdowns in the stores and throwing things and behaving badly. I just saw something where this person, she was suspended. She was not even fired. She was suspended from her job. And she gets in a car and just starts to ram it into the back of other cars. Guys, something is wrong with this person and individuals like this. And I will say, whether it's your childhood or whatever, that is not an excuse to go out there and do wrong to people. It's not. What do they have to do with your childhood? A lot of times people keep things pent up inside. They're not talking about their feelings. They can be implosive. You don't want to talk to somebody. But guys, I'll encourage you to talk to somebody. Get help. Otherwise, you're going to pop off at the wrong person. You're going to push the envelope a little bit too far. Okay? And now they end up going to prison. And when these individuals go to prison, they're going to be in there with people who can more than handle their temper. You understand what I'm saying? And what is the point of being cut off and isolated, being in a jail cell with 2 or 3 other individuals with one toilet, and you have to do everything right there and be locked up like you're some sort of hamster, locked up like you're a pet? You see? Don't put yourself in that position, guys. But watch that temper. Get the help you need. There is more than enough. If you can't afford to go get counseling, if you don't have the means to do it, there are more than enough videos online to help you to get through it. You are worth that effort. Otherwise, guys, you're going to run into, either you're going to do it until you run into the wrong one, or you're going to find yourself hanging around people who behave that way and thinking you're safe because you didn't do anything and you didn't put your hands on anything and you didn't say anything. But it doesn't matter. By your association, you could be guilty, or being so upset that you go off, or these individuals will go off on federal grounds. They just so mad that they didn't think about it. They thought the airport was just a regular place. They thought airport was like how they normally will act up in Target, or the post office will be no different than how they will normally act up when they're at the local gas station. No. Being volatile will always lead to destruction. It always does. So just something to think about, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.